What's up, y'all? Welcome back out to the bench in the backyard. You might be saying to yourself, that pot's a little big for a bonsai. Yes, you are correct. I'm not doing a bonsai today. I am actually going to be doing a little proof of concept. I told y'all earlier in a separate video that I was planning on doing a garden pond, making a little Japanese garden with a pond in it. So I'm doing a little proof of concept if I can. I'm trying to work out how I'm going to do my bog filters for that pond. I'm going to try doing it this way because I don't really have room to put a big giant, one single giant big bog in there. I want to do two, but I only want to run one pump. And I'm going to see if I can't jury rig this up a little bit using some baffles. And I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that, what I'm thinking about doing. And then we're gonna we'll go inside, we'll get these bog filters set up, let those cure overnight. It's like a 24-hour cure, so I'll come back and do the rest of this tomorrow. But yeah, so I'll see y'all inside where I'm gonna do these. It's just a little more comfortable than standing here out at the bench. And I'll see y'all in a little bit. Oh, one more thing. All right. So I got all this from Lowe's, so if you want to make your own little patio pond, garden pond, whatever, it's not real bad. It's for what I've got a 155 gallon per hour pump. It's not real big, little small thing. But the important thing was I'm trying to get to around 50 gallons per hour. So if I can get this 3 feet above the pump, or go about 3 feet with the tubing that I got. So let me tell you what all I got. Big giant planter. It's a 20-inch planter that is 16.7 inches tall. So it's right around somewhere between 12 and 15 gallons. I think. I don't know. I'll have to measure it when I do that. 2 6-quart little plastic shoe boxes. Again, these were like $2. This was the most expensive. No, this was the most expensive thing I got. Was like 30 bucks. This was 25. The tubing was like 10 or 15 bucks. The two containers are like $3 a piece. So, and then we've got handy little pond basket. What I did is I went ahead, cut out a hole right here, and cut a slot right here. That way, the tubing can go down through the little hole, and the wire for the power cord for the pump fits right up in there. That way this, and luckily, this fits flat on the bottom of the pot. So that'll give me a little bit of a cavity, so that this isn't trying to pull water through a whole bunch of rock. It also means that I don't have to put as much rock in here as I need to, or as I would need to. Oh, and I got a bag of pea gravel. So it was, like I said, 25, 30, another 15, make that 19. So that's, doing math in my head, 50, 75, and the pea gravel was like $7. So actually we're looking at like 80 bucks all in, minus fish and plants, which I will be putting in. I haven't picked up the plants yet because this is going to be a 24-hour cure. They're aquatic plants. They need water. And I don't want to set up a whole little setup for them because I would have to condition the water because it's going to be obviously coming out of the tap for this one. So yeah, I will see y'all inside, and we'll get to making a baffle for one of these, getting spillways cut into the tops, and I'll show you everything I'm going to do. It should be pretty easy. Oh, and just a tube of Loctite Marine. So I mean, it's made to be wet. So make sure whatever you get, it's going to be water safe, prefer fish safe, or human safe. Once this cures, it should be fine. So yeah, we'll get that going. This is basically just to glue the little baffle in. I'm going to make a template for it and cut it out using these handy lids that come for free. So I'll cut a little I'll cut out a template. We'll mark it out. Cut a baffle out of that. We'll put a baffle in one of these. Put spillways in both of them, and yeah. Then tomorrow we'll be setting up the pond. All right. I'll see y'all in a bit. All right. What's up, y'all? Back inside. I've got my little shoebox. We're gonna measure it because I'm an idiot and I took off the sticker and threw it in the trash and don't feel like going and digging around for it. So I get to measure. We're looking at about 7.5 at the top, about 6.5 at the bottom. So just a piece of cardboard. X-Acto knife. You can use whatever kind of knife, pocket knife, kitchen knife, any kind of knife. And so I got a little cut mat underneath it. If you don't, just throw another couple of layers of cardboard underneath while you're cutting. That way you don't cut into whatever it is that you're cutting on. You don't have to worry about cutting up your wife's nice furniture or your desk or wherever you're doing this. If I was doing it out at the bench, I would just do it straight on the bench because, I mean, it's just wood. And I can cut it like screw it up too much, I can just cut out another piece of decking, screw it on top, and would be good. All right, so 7.5 at the top. We'll use this top as the top. Awesome. We don't have to cut a whole lot off of it. We'll go in here. I've got a pin here somewhere. Come in 7.5. We'll mark it. Height. We're going to need about 1/4 to 1/2 inch on the inside there. So we're looking at inside heights right at about 5 inches. So I'll go about 4.5 on this. We'll measure down. All right, so as we go in here, we cut that out. We're going to cut along this bottom edge. I know we're going to have to take about 1 inch off of there, but we'll do that in the bin because we want it to follow the edge as well as possible. All right, so that should be pretty good fit. And so yeah, that leaves us not a whole lot of room on the bottom. So we'll come in here. I'll go ahead and measure up about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Let's see here. What do I want to do? Do I want to do 1/4 or do I want to do 1/2? Where did I put my tape measure? Y'all didn't see that. Y'all didn't see that at all. It's right there. Let's go with 3/8. That should be enough. The feed tube is only a 1/2 inch. It is going to be pressurized, but that shouldn't be much of a problem. We'll go ahead and measure on this side as well. Also going to 3/8 on this side. We'll go right there. And so we'll take our little improvised straight edge, line up the 2 dots. So we've got that. We'll cut this out. Just trace that line again. Alright, so we'll be level with the top here, and then down here at the bottom, we've got about 3/8 of an inch in the middle, and about 3/4 over here on the sides. Oh, you can't see that, right over here. So about 3/8 here in the middle with them at the top. And so what I'm thinking for this, I'll go ahead and show you, is I'm going to have these 2 bogs set like this, and I'm going to have this one flowing into this, into the baffled part right here. And by baffling it and sealing up these edges, what that will do is that will force the water to go down and under and level up this way. And as long as we keep the water level on this side below the top of this, we shouldn't have any spillover. The flow in should equal the flow out, so we shouldn't have any problems with spillovers up here. And if that's true, like I said, I'm not sure if this will work like that. I'm not an engineer. I just pretend to play one on TV, I guess. So what that should let us do is use these 2 bog filters in series. And so I'll have one with the pump flowing into it. Then I'll have this one with that bog flowing into this one and going up underneath the baffle, coming over, filling up the actual bog, and then flowing out over the top of here. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our weirs up here. Cool thing about these is they are reinforced right up here. So I will be able to, and they're reinforced all the way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just to the inside of this plastic support. And then I will cut it all the way down to the bottom of the support as well. So we'll go up, over, and down. And that way we can take this, I'll use a hair dryer, heat it up a little bit, and roll it over so that it basically comes flat over to here. But this will be basically our waterfall edge for the weir. So I'll go ahead and cut that up. Grab my X-Acto knife. And so we just take our knife, set it to the side. You could probably also do this with a pair of scissors, but I like being somewhat precise. So we're going to come up slowly and cut this. And as we come up, alright, so we've got the front and the top cut on this side right here. I haven't cut down yet. I want to cut this side first. We're going to do the same action on both of the containers. And so there. And then we'll come on the inside. And instead of starting from up here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start down here at the bottom where the support is. Let me adjust this a little bit so you can see a little bit more. Alright, so I'm going to start over here and just follow that line straight up. We may have to go through this a couple times, just until we punch through. And there we go. So yeah. Then we'll do the same thing over here on the other side. And so now, when I heat it up, I'll be able to roll this top over, and that'll force the water to go over that. And we'll take our basically liquid latex. It's an adhesive sealant. So it's just as I bend this down, I'm going to heat it up a little bit, and then when it's done, I'll come in here and throw some of that. I won't take it all the way down to the bottom. I'll leave it up a little bit, about like that. All you need is 1/4 of an inch at the top. That's about how the water is going to flow. Maybe down to about right there, about 3/8 of an inch. On both sides, I'll heat this up, fold it over, and then throw some of this in those two gaps. Do it on the inside, in here, and then we'll also put some right here along that crack, so we make sure that the water stays on top of this. That'll give us a nice little sheet going down into the next set. So I'll go ahead and cut the other one, do the exact same thing, and I'll come back when I have that done. Okay, so now that we have our template cut out, we've got a lid. We've got a second lid in case we mess up. Hopefully we won't do that though. So what I'm going to do, yeah, no, I can't quite get 2 of them out of it. That would be nice. So we'll come in here, just trace it out with our Sharpie. And we just need to remember to cut on the inside of the line, because this is a Sharpie, so it's got a real thick point. We just need to cut just to the inside of this line. So we come up and out, and there we go. So this is going to be the shape of our baffle. Like that. So now all we have to do, again, we'll come in here, take our knife, whatever we're using, and just on the inside of that line, we're going to come in and carefully trace it. And so we try to keep that as straight as possible. And we come out here, oops. And then come down all on the inside. Oh man, they don't want to, it doesn't want to cut straight. And that's a pretty thick latex-like adhesive, so it doesn't have to be perfect. The bottom definitely doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to try, especially over on the sides, we want to be just inside of that line. And then cut out and back up. And we cut through most of it. We'll just go in again with the knife. This will be easier because all we got to do is follow the line, make sure we're on our cut pad or on top of your cardboard or wherever you are. So now that bottom's cut out. Make sure we catch that. And we're through. Hopefully, this will be able to come in. We need to shave a little bit off of this side. And there we go. Like I said, there's a little bit of a gap right here, a little bit of a gap right over here. So what we'll do is when we put this in, kind of press it in a little bit. We're actually going to take not that much. Just cutting like this 1/16. All right, so I've gone ahead and rolled these over. All I did is I took just a normal hair dryer, threw it on high, and held it fairly close to the plastic, and just back and forth with my hand back here. Once it got to where it was pretty warm to the touch, just turned it off, rolled it over like that, just rolled it, and then pinched where it folds. So right down here at the bottom of the support, which is where we cut it to, I just rolled it over and pinched together all the way across, and it's staying where it needs to be, slightly lower than the top. And yeah, so now we have our cut out little section. That's going to go back here. Out like that. So these are 6 quarts each. So I'm taking about, I don't know, 1/5 of the container. So you're looking at like 1.5 quarts back in here. And then there's plenty of space under here for water to go through. And now what I'm going to do is I got to figure out a way to hold this in here while I run my bead of sealant. I'll run a bead over here, and I'll run a bead back here. And I'll do the same thing on this other side. So bead up front, bead in the back. I'm going to take a little cyanoacrylate, a little super glue. Once we have it where we want it, here, so you can see a little bit better, and I can see a little bit better. We get it where we want it, and we're just going to throw a little CA glue right here. And super glue is fish safe. Oh no. People use it when they're designing aquariums. They'll use it to actually glue down some of their plants onto rocks. I may be doing that tomorrow. Then we're going to do the same thing over on this corner. Just get it where we want it. Hit it a little bit on this side. We'll let this dry and set. And that should just hold it where we want it. I think that'll do it. Alright, so we're cured, or set basically, up top. The only place it's not is down here in this corner right here, the bottom. But that should be fine. As long as it's staying basically where it needs to be. And the 3 points will do that. You might want to wear gloves when you're doing this, because what I'll do is I'll lay a bead down, and then I'll take my finger and pull it across. So I'll go ahead and lay my 2 beads on the top. And I'm just supporting underneath so that as I push down, then we'll do the same thing over here on this side. So there we have that. Throw on a new glove for me. You can do this all in one. And then up here at the front, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. So we're going to come in from the bottom up underneath this lip. And I'm going to throw a big bead right there. So I just come from underneath. And I'm going to put a little bead here on the front, like that. And what that's going to do is that's just going to force the water to come over this weir. We'll do the same thing over here on this side. So I'll go ahead and do this to the other side. We don't need a weir in, or a baffle in the other side. Well, that's dry enough. I'll go ahead and run a bead on this back side. And we'll do the same thing where we run our finger along it. And the cool thing with this is because I'm using the clear plastic, you're going to actually see that it's pretty solid right there. And then you can see it's really solid on the middle and on the inside, up in here. And then all along. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And then I may put a second coat on this. But it actually looks pretty good. As long as it's solid tomorrow, Well, no, I will put a second bead on there. And again, I'll come over here on the side. And so I'll just come in here, take my finger, All right, so that should be good. I'll do the same thing on the other container, and I will see y'all out at the bench tomorrow.